When you think about global superpowers, your mind probably jumps to things like economies or technology, right? But what if I told you a country's greatest strength was life itself? Today, we're going to dive into what makes India a true biological superpower, one of the most vibrant and life-rich places on the entire planet. And the stats behind this? Well, they're pretty mind-blowing.
So just to give you a sense of the scale here, let's do a quick numbers round. When it comes to mammals, where does India rank globally? 7th.
For birds, it's 9th. And for reptiles, an incredible 5th in the whole world.
And there you have it, 7th for mammals, 9th for birds, and 5th for reptiles. I mean, those are some seriously impressive rankings. It's exactly why India is officially recognized as one of the world's 17 megadiverse countries. The bottom line here is that for its size, India just punches way, way above its weight in the sheer variety of life it supports. Now, to really get a handle on all this diversity, we first need to kind of understand how the animal kingdom is put together. And really, it's a story of two very, very different groups. Okay, just look at this chart for a second. This is what blows my mind. A staggering 98% of all animal species on Earth are invertebrates. We're talking about creatures without a backbone. All the animals we usually think of, lions, birds, fish, they're all crammed into that tiny little 2% slice. It's wild, right? And the fundamental difference between these two massive groups, it's beautifully simple. As you can see, it all comes down to just one thing. Do you have a backbone or not? That single piece of anatomy is the dividing line for pretty much all animal life. So let's focus on that little 2% club for a minute. These are the 5 major classes of vertebrates that we're all pretty familiar with. You've got your fishes, amphibians, reptiles, aves, which is just the fancy word for birds, and of course, us, the mammals. All right, so with those big categories in mind, let's zoom in and get to the really cool stuff. The incredible, charismatic animals that actually call the Indian subcontinent home. And here are just a few of the superstars. We're talking about the majestic Royal Bengal Tiger prowling the jungles, the powerful Asian elephant, the almost mythical snow leopard way up in the Himalayas, and even the Gangetic dolphin, which is India's national aquatic animal. The diversity is just stunning. But here's what makes India's biodiversity truly, truly special. It's this idea of endemic species. These are creatures that are hyperlocal. They exist in one specific place on Earth, and that is it. If they disappear from that spot, they're gone from the universe forever. And India is just full of these exclusive residents. Down in the south, you've got the striking lion-tailed macaque, found only in the Western Ghats mountain range. You've got the sure-footed Nilgiri tahar in the Nilgiri hills. And way up in the northeast, the critically endangered pygmy hog is holding on in a tiny pocket of Assam. These are India's one-of-a-kind little jewels. Okay, let's shift gears. We've talked about the animals, but that's only half the story. Let's pivot to the world of plants, which is just as, if not more, diverse and staggering in its scale. This chart really puts it all into perspective. When you're talking about plant diversity, India ranks 10th in the entire world and 4th across all of Asia. It's a certified floral hotspot on a global scale. So what does a ranking like that actually mean? It means this. India is home to nearly 11% of all the known plant species on Earth. Think about that. Over 1/10 of the planet's entire catalog of flora is found right inside its borders. But it's not just about the numbers. India's plants have some incredible stories. Some are healers, some are hunters, and yeah, some are dangerous invaders. Let's get into it. You heard me right. Some plants hunt. In parts of the world where the soil is really poor and doesn't have a lot of nutrients, certain plants have evolved to get their food in a much more, dramatic way. They've become carnivores. So how in the world does this work? We'll take the pitcher plant, like the endemic Nepenthes cassiana you'll find in Meghalaya. First, it lures an unsuspecting insect in with some sweet nectar. The insect lands on the rim, which is super waxy and slippery, and it loses its footing. And poof, it falls right into a pool of digestive fluid below. It's a masterful, deadly natural trap. Okay, moving from the hunters to the healers. For thousands of years, India's forests have basically been a vast natural pharmacy. It's a tradition of knowledge that modern science is still exploring today. Sarpagandha is the perfect example. This native Indian plant contains these powerful compounds that have been traditionally used and are now scientifically recognized to effectively treat high blood pressure.
It's literally medicine, growing right out of the ground.
But of course, there's a dark side too. These are the villains of the plant world, invasive alien species. Plants like the water hyacinth, which has the charming nickname Terror of Bengal, were brought in from somewhere else. Now they grow completely out of control, choking entire waterways and threatening to just overwhelm the native ecosystems. Now, you might be thinking all this incredible biodiversity is just about what's out there in the wild, right? In the jungles and mountains. But it's actually deeply woven into human civilization, especially when it comes to the food we eat. I mean, just look at these livestock numbers. India has the world's #1 largest population of buffaloes. It's #2 for cattle and goats, and #3 for sheep. This genetic diversity in our domesticated animals is an absolutely critical resource for agriculture and, our food security. So when you put it all together, from the highest mountain peaks to the deep oceans, from tiny fungi to the largest mammals, India is the guardian of this vast and precious collection of life. It's not just a bunch of species, it's a living, breathing library of genetic information. So the big question now, facing pressures like climate change and habitat loss, is what will it take for us to protect this library for the future?